Let's talk about doors again. We've got another door here that needs a little Joe Guyver. Another sagging door. What's up with this? I just fixed a door in here. You know, up here I can see where the paint is all rubbed off the edge of here. I close the door and the door is closing and latching at the strike plate. But I can see up here, there's hardly any gap there, and it's been rubbing, and I look at that, and sure enough, this whole edge from here down to here, the paint is all worn off it, and it's chiseled that a little away from the edge of this door, rubbing it, rubbing it, rubbing it, rubbing it. So that tells me this door is sagging. I can also tell up at the top, I can look at the gap, and there's more of a gap at the left-hand edge of the door than there is the right hand. Not much more of a gap, but that tells me that this door is kind of tilted down this way. And when this door tilts down that way, the edge of this rubs there, and at the bottom, there's a bigger gap at the bottom of the door. And I follow this line all the way down. I look down here, sure enough, there's a bigger gap down here. There's probably 3/16 of a gap down there. And at the top of the door you saw that it was tight because this door has tilted like this. So if you take a box or a rectangle and you tilt it, you can see what happens. This edge is tight, the bottom edge is loose, and that's what we have. Classic example right here of a sagging door. Now, is the door really sagging? I've got to take a quick look over here on these hinges and see. Because when I look at this hinge, I want to look at that and make sure that it's not, that this door jamb section is not pushing back in or is loose. If this is loose, could you see how this could push right back in there and could make the door actually sag by having this bottom section of the door jamb loose. I've seen that happen before. Usually that doesn't happen, right? But I've looked over here and everything looks tight, and I don't think that's happening at this section. You know? So that's one thing you want to check, because just because the door looks like it's sagging here doesn't necessarily mean it's that top hinge. Okay? But let's pan this in. If I pan that in, you see that gap right there? I'm going to lift up on the door, the left-hand edge, and you see if that pushes tighter. And if it does, then that means we've got something loose at the top. You see that? Like it. See how that flexes up like that? I let go and it comes back down. That tells me something is going on right up here at this hinge location. We've got to take that hinge, we've got to make sure that's tight. We've got to figure out how to suck that in a little bit. Ooh. You see where that hinge is? This hinge, we've got to push that in. See how it moves and flexes right there? As you push that, that's pushing this tighter, and that's taking this and pushing it back up like that. And that'll get my sag out of there. So I've got to somehow push that in. That's all I have for this time. But I'll be back with more videos.